Well, there we have it. As many traders had called it at the start of this week, a slight upturn in the markets as we wrap this week up. We've seen 2 days of gains having come to the fore thus far. Give us your view on the markets at the moment.
Yeah, good morning, Alicia. Maybe we should tell Lamido Sanusi to come to the market every day now, so that the market will keep on recovering. Well, it was a good thing that the market has started a gradual recovery after the visit of the CBN governor. But I think I don't see it going that far, because what Lamido Sanusi said on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange was not different from what we've been hearing all the while. There was no any clear defined policy statement on how the CBN is going to help the Nigerian Stock Exchange, mostly in the area of liquidity. Rather, he came in there to blame some of the brokers for what they've done to the market, for what their bank chiefs have done. And so I think it's just the normal thing when a price of those equity have gone down so low, many investors are taking position. Confidence is still very low. When you have a banking sector have about 60% of the market capitalization, and yet the banking sector have been losing. So, and again, over 15% in terms of losses for investors. So I think fine, but I think it's still the trading the part of caution, and mostly people are going to other sectors that they know there's certainty. Because today CBN will say there's no major major threat again from the banking sector. The next time you say he's not guaranteeing any CEO his job. So we have conflicting statements. So people are just being very cautious.
Well, we've heard analysts over at Renaissance Capital in Nigeria say that when it comes to the fallen five within the banking sector, either full disclosure needs to come to the fore, or these counters need to be suspended from trade until further clarity emerges. They're saying if one or the other doesn't happen, we can see complete value destruction coming to the fore here, with shares falling as low as 50 kobo. What's your view on a statement like that?
Well, my view about a statement like that is you don't determine the price of equity in the market by making such statements. And it's based about demands and supply, and it's based about results that are coming into the market. I think the Nigerian stock market has been one market that have defined all known theory. And I think in this case, I don't see even the banks that were even involved in where their bank MDs were sacked and facing trial to come to the level where they will come back to 50 kobo. I doubt that. That's one. Then two, when you look at it, when you look at the recovery measure, the type of debt that are recovering from these banks, you realize that over time now they've been able to recover almost 25 billion for some banks, and the FCC said they were able to recover 87 billion. And you know that some of these banks have already made provisions for this exposure to the market before. By the time they take it into their coffee, I think it will boost their result. But for now, we are not expecting any result. And I don't think it will get to that level. The market fundamentals in Nigerians is still a bit not too strong like we thought it was before. But I can tell you that the banking stock at the moment are the cheapest stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Because if you look at their exposure, if you look at the type of auditing, if you look at the scrutiny that CBN makes their result to pass through, then you realize that we are getting into that level whereby transparency, honesty is what is becoming the turn on banking figures.
Let's take a look at results that came to the fore yesterday. Guarantee Trust Bank reporting for the 6 months to June, saying that profit after tax declined 8%. What did the market make of those numbers released?
Well, yesterday, GT Bank was among the price gainers on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I think it's somehow a good result. If it's just 8% compared to what you made last year, it's not a bad result. You know, they've made provision of 20-point-something billion in terms of loans. And I believe that GT Bank is one bank that have been professionally handled. And I know that this provision will be brought back into the books over time. So I think it's a good stock, and it's selling. It's one of at least at the moment, it's one of the most expensive banking stock at about yesterday finished at 12 naira 40 something. 12 naira 80 something kobo. So I still believe it's a good bank. I think we are beginning to get there now. We are beginning to see results. We were expecting the result from First Bank. We were expecting results from from other banks like Sky Bank. We're expecting results from Sterling Bank. And these are companies that have made provision. And you know, the good thing about what the CBN governor or the EFCC has done is that even some of these banks that have been cleared, and like GT Bank was among those that was cleared, the debtors are going back there to pay their money. So at the end of the day, it's going to boost their balance sheet. And I believe, and if you look at the result, they say this was made by May 29. So I'm sure by now, by the time they bring their third quarter and their last quarter result, it will be a very good result. I hope so.
Muktar, very quickly, just looking at a headline that's just come in from Nigeria. Latest news that's hit is that 2 insurance MDs have been sacked. Heads are rolling in the insurance industry over the findings of the National Insurance Commission from its post-recapitalization inspection, as 2 chieftains are already out, and speculation is that there are more to go. Has a recent CBN activity actually emboldened other players within other sectors to re-look at those sitting at the helm of these operations?
Well, it's unfortunate that the insurance regulator have to wait for CBN to take action before they decide to follow up. That was the same thing they did when the banking's recapitalization came up. It was after the banks will recapitalize before they knew the insurance company have to recapitalize. I must tell you that I'm not too surprised with Intercontinental WAPIC, knowing that it has meant to do it Intercontinental Bank. That is one. Then for ICO, I think with this report is too sketchy. We don't really know what, until the regulatory authority comes to give us reason why they were removed. But when you look at it, the insurance company has been one company insurance sector has been one sector that have not performed at all, even after their recapitalization. They had so much money, they didn't know what to do. Most of them were playing the capital market with their huge amount of fund. And so when the capital market started going down, they started going down too. And that is one thing that I think they had too much money, and we don't have a very good insurance regulatory policy that make it mandatory for Nigerians to have insurance. Maybe insure their car, insure their lives, or insure anything they have. So Nigerians are nonchalant about that, and they've not been a lot of enlightenment by the regulatory authority or by the companies themselves to make people see the reason why they have to get insurance. Until they start doing that with a population of 150 million, I think insurance is going to be a very good business if they take the right step in enlightening the people on the importance of having insurance. So going forward, it might be good, but at the moment, I still expect some shocker from the regulatory authority.